The lawsuit is similar to efforts in other states to keep former President Donald Trump and some of his supporters off the ballots for their role in trying to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Right now, Colorado and Maine are the only two states to remove Trump from their primary ballots, but you can see several other states have challenges pending. The United States Supreme Court says it will review the Colorado Supreme Court's decision to remove Donald Trump from its state's primary ballot. The court scheduled oral arguments for February 8th. All of the arguments to remove Trump are the same. It uses Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, the Insurrectionist Clause, and looks at Trump's actions 3 years ago on January 6th. And today does mark 3 years since thousands of supporters of the former president rioted on the steps and eventually broke into the U.S. Capitol during the proceedings to certify Joe Biden as president. Georgia U.S. Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock is urging everyone to reflect and rededicate themselves to the American idea of government for the people, by the people. He shared a statement saying, in part, our nation still teeters between the promise of January 5th and the profane desecration of January 6th, and it's up to us to choose which path we will take.